How much money should you have saved for retirement? So the U.S. household median income is $75,000, represented by this. So if you took $75,000 and you took 10% of this, which is $7,500, you would reach 10 times your income. So 10 times this is $750,000 in approximately 31 years, assuming a 7% rate of return, and that's post-inflation. So where would you get something like that? I go with the S&P 500. That's like SPY or VOO, or there's mutual funds like FX, AIX. Effectively, the S&P 500 over the last 30 plus years has returned 10.7%. If you subtract out inflation, you get around 7%, so that's where I'm getting these numbers from. If you increase the contribution instead of 10% and went with 15%, you'd reach that goal within 26 years. So if you start young, effectively you have more time. The younger you are, the less you have to put away. As you get older, you're going to have to make higher and higher contribution rates to achieve the same number by the time you retire. So at 25 years, basically you only have about $5,000 in your 401k. Age 25 to 34, on average, there's about $30,000 in a retirement account. And you don't really want to have $30,000. What you want to do is have 1 times your salary. So you should really have $75,000 around that time, if that's your income. Now, if you're at $40,000 of income, you should have $40,000 at age 30. So this column is basically how many times my income should I have saved at each of these ages. By age 44, the average account is approximately $76,000. So at about age 40, you should have 3 times your annual income. So if that was $75,000, take that times 3, should be $225,000 by age 40. So at age 45 to 54, the average retirement savings is $142,000. What this really should be is you should have about 6 times your annual income at age 50 or 4 times at 45. So at age 45 to 54, the average retirement savings is $142,000. In reality, it should be 4x of your income at 45 and 6x at 50. So at age 50, this should really be about $450,000. So at this point, people start getting serious. Now they're putting in 11.7% on average into the retirement because they know it's getting closer. At age 55 to 64, the average account balance is $208,000. So you want to hit 7x at 55 or 8 times your salary at 60. So 8 times 75,000 will give you $600,000 at 60 years old. And if you notice, they've increased the savings on average to 12.9%. So we know that we're getting close to retirement, so people are going and increasing it. In reality, the best time to put money away is when you're younger, but you can catch up. And they also give you catch-up contributions over the age of 50 for IRAs and 401ks and things like that. So the average retirement account balance when you're 65 plus is $233,000. So you really want to be 10 times or more when you actually enter full retirement age. So if that's 62 or 67, you want to be at least 10x. If you're 62, maybe you want 12x. If you're 67, 10x plus. So those are a couple of ideas of where you want to be. So if you had a $75,000 a year income, 10x would be $750,000. If you had a $40,000 income, this would only be $400,000. So basically it needs to scale to whatever your lifestyle is. And then people that still are contributing at this age contribute about 12.7% to retirement. Again, a lot of people will already be retired, so they won't be counted in that average contribution rate. If you're thinking about where can I put this money, you can put it into a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA, or same with a 401k, a 403b, that type of retirement account. And all of those are tax advantaged. If you have traditional accounts, basically you don't pay taxes today. You defer the taxes to when you withdraw it. If you get a Roth account, either an IRA, 401k, or a 403b, you pay taxes today, but then you don't pay taxes on the withdrawal. So it's a lot nicer if you think you're going to be at a higher income bracket when you're withdrawing. Traditional accounts are a little bit better if you are currently at a higher tax bracket than what you think you will be in when you retire. And you still have standard deductions and things like that when you withdraw money as well. And what you'll see is the median is much lower than the average because, well, the average calculates people that might be multimillionaires, and the median will be, if you take half the people, where does, the exact middle go into? But the average will be, let me take $1 billion and average it with a bunch of people that might have $0, and then you come up with a number, and that's why that seems to be pretty high compared to the median. I know several people that have less than this when they're retiring or in their mid-60s. So when you're going into retirement, what you're going to want to hit is about at least 80% of your pre-retirement income. Well, why 80%? Well, you no longer are contributing, 10 to 15% to retirement, so you don't have to think about that anymore. The other thing is you're not going to be eating out all the time. You can eat at home. You don't have to drive a nice car or anything. You can actually cut down on the number of cars if you and your spouse are together. So generally, they'll take 80% of the pre-retirement income. That's what you're shooting for at a minimum in retirement. So if you have 10x your income saved in retirement, what you want to do is withdraw no more than 4% from that account, which 4% times 10x is really 40% of what your current income would be. But that doesn't make up for the other 40%. So where does that come from? Well, Social Security, if you were making $75,000 a year for the last 30, 40 years, effectively that would pay out approximately $28,000 a year. If you had around $30,000 or so from your retirement and you have another $28,000 in Social Security, that gets you pretty close to that 80%. Now, I don't really feel 100% comfortable with just 10x. I would try to make that go a little further, especially if I'm younger. Like I was saying, if I'm 62 or 60 or 59 or something like that and I want to retire, maybe I want this to be 12, 15 times to retire. But as I get older, I'll have less time left, so I don't have to worry about my money lasting as long. But for me, I want to make sure that when I do retire, the money I have, I never touch the principal. Other people will draw down on it, and it's fine, assuming they don't outlive the money, which is why you have no more than a 4% withdrawal rate. If you start withdrawing more than 4%, even in downturn years, basically you run out of money if you live to 80, 85 years. For me, my target is 25 times. That way, if it's 25 times, I can have a 4% withdrawal rate, and I don't have to worry about ever touching the principal. It continues to grow. And I don't know about you, but I don't really think Social Security is going to be around for me, at least not 30 years from now. They'll only be able to pay out about 70% to retirees in 2034 unless they change some laws or increase how much people are contributing to. And with the declining birth rate in the US, I don't think that's getting any better. So either they're going to have to cut benefits to the people that are going to retire, or they're going to have to raise the age of full retirement. They've recently raised it from 65 to 67. They're talking about raising that again to 69, and they're also thinking about increasing the taxes. So instead of Social Security taxes stopping around 160, 170, they're thinking about reinstating that for above that limit, and right now it's, if you make more than 400,000, they're thinking about taxing those people as well. So if this is helpful, please subscribe. I cover a lot of financial literacy topics such as how to make money, how to save, and how to invest, as well as a lot of that is involved with retirement. All right, well, thank you for watching and have a great day.